Hey fellow Horror Night fans and Universal fans alike, I'm the Crazy Englishman, and welcome back to another episode of Halloween Horror World, where today we're going to be discussing one of my most anticipated events, and that's the 2016 10-year anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. Now this event does mean a lot to me because I went to the first revival, well, dragged to it, back in 2006, and the 10-year anniversary is coming up, so today I'm just going to be discussing some of the things I'd love to see and what I'm looking forward to seeing at the event, hopefully seeing at the event. So let's jump right into it. One of the major things I want to see return is the director. As you can see, I managed to find one of the original promo arts for the event back in 2006, and it introduced me to the icon of the director. It was the first time I had seen the director and got to experience it. Now, he didn't have a maze per se. He was mainly an overall icon that had a major feature on the Terror Tram. I even remember to this day what the ride video was, and it was a great backstory. They gave him that Universal hired him to direct a film, and he was killing off cast members to create, as many of you fellow Horror Night fans know, he likes to kill people to capture that real raw emotional fear and real blood, and that special effects in his eyes can't replicate. And eventually they shut the project down and they tried to send him back to his native country. However, he escaped onto the back lot, and now he's trying to finish the film by capturing guests. And I love that whole story. And even though the event at the time, because I wasn't really acclimatized to Horror Nights, I was a big chicken back then, I still really, as a horror fan, really love that story that they had built over it. Now, back then, 2006, it only had two mazes, the Asylum and a very retro version of the House of Horrors. But with the director coming back, I think it's only appropriate that because he kicked off the revival of Horror Nights at Hollywood that I've grown to love over the past, 9 years, because I missed out this year. But I feel that it would be very fitting for the director to come back as a major icon and theme for this year, maybe coming back to finish what he started or trying to finish his magnum opus of a film. So yeah, I strongly would love to see, and I feel that the director rightfully should come back for 2016's anniversary. One of the other things that I would love to see return is the Asylum. Now, Horror Nights in general is not really known for its original mazes, and even though the Asylum concept isn't really original, the way I see it doing, because, I mean, like the Terror Tram, I remember, even to this day, I remember everything about the maze, what the format was like, and it was just when the inmates were breaking out, the sets were really cool, it was a frightening experience, and the way I see it, how it could return is in the vein of one of my favorite mazes at Orlando, or I should say maze concepts, because it's a maze I love the story of, and I never got to experience, but it's Echoes of Shady Brook. For those who are unaware, the Shady Brook Asylum has had an overall arcing maze themes, from Christmas to just a basic asylum maze to ghosts, and that's where I feel that the Asylum should make a great return, revamped, hopefully with the original construction with little alterations to make it look aged, with ghosts, and I think that would be a fantastic nod to one of the original mazes back in 2006. So a variation of the Asylum kind of in the same vein of Echoes of Shady Brook, where the inmates that didn't escape and everyone that died in the asylum come back as ghosts. And I think that would be a fun maze to have, and definitely a frightening one to go through. Any new concepts? Definitely some themed mazes. I feel that if the director does come back, I think there should be more maybe traditional classic movies brought in that kind of go in the theme with the director. Maybe some classic horror movies. I'm not talking about like with the original Universal Monsters. I guess you could argue that the House of Horrors technically took that in the Universal Monsters remix. I mean traditional, but in a very scary gothic style, and I think that's more kind of a marriage between modern audiences and classic horror fans of that blood and gore, but with that kind of classic theming of gothic horror. And I think that would be an amazing maze to put in the event that kind of ties in with the director. I mean, again, all this is speculation at this time. We've still got 2015 to go through, and with the 25th anniversary of the Orlando event. But I'm very excited for the 2016 one, and because the Hollywood event to me personally means a lot. It does mean a lot to me, and as a Horror Night updater, I would move heaven and earth to fly out for the 2016 event and get to experience it, because it does mean a lot to come back after 10 years that this amazing event has been going on. And definitely a major kudos to John Murdy for guiding it through, and even through some struggles with some of the maze concepts and that. Some things didn't work. I mean, this is the same with the event, but 10 years, that's fantastic, and I'm very excited for the 2016 event, and I hope to see some new cool things. But I would definitely love to see the director return. If anything, the director return as a major icon. So, and the asylum would be a nice tip of the hat to one of the original mazes of the revival series of Hollywood's event. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little discussion about the Hollywood 2016 anniversary event. What do you guys think? Like, what would you like to see? Did you get to go to the 2006 event? Or what would you like to see in an anniversary? Please feel free to comment below, and if you've enjoyed this discussion video or any of my videos, please feel free to like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, so any comments, leave them below, and I do try to get back to everyone that I can. And until the next video, this is the Crazy Englishman signing off.